Dude, so yeah, something's getting restructured in the Weezer like YouTube.
Maybe they're gonna be putting some of Rivers like demos up there or something.
Maybe, yeah, it would make sense.
I do know like a few years ago they took all of like the Blue Album Deluxe Edition off of everything because they put out a record store day thing that was like just those tracks repurposed.
Especially
maybe they're doing some kind of. Maybe Weezer's doing a little box set for us.
I mean, they did the that's how they have it on Spotify. Is all the colored albums are like one playlist on the main channel.
Yeah.
But it makes me sad because I that's the one thing about like Spotify that'll never is like if they had every single different version of like the albums, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like the specialty like iTunes versions, the Yahoo Music version.
Yeah. There's all sorts of versions of everything.
It's super cool.
Colin, how you doing today?
The weather is so nice.
It is.
I had to go outside twice.
It's true. I watched him do it. I watched him do it.
It's a lovely Easter Sunday.
It's actually Weezer Sunday today.
It truly is.
What's the temp we got? What do we got here in lovely Appletown? Look at that. 61
You're kidding
degrees.
me. 61. It's only
sunny.
supposed to warm up. We'll reconvene later.
By the time this is done, it's going to be a balmy 64.
Ooh, I love to see that.
Colin, it is Weezer Sunday. Do you think anyone has found the Weezer eggs we've hidden in the podcast so far? Think anyone's found those?
I don't know. I haven't heard anybody talking about them.
I haven't heard anyone. We've hit some pretty primo references in our podcast.
In our silly little podcast here.
Yeah, and you can actually go to the WeezfestCast official site, and if you find the correct Flash game and you type in the code, you are entered into a drawing where you can win access to our podcast.
That's undeniably correct.
You can watch our podcast.
Yeah.
These have all been unlisted videos, right?
I don't know.
I'm just goofing.
We're goofing on this Weezer Sunday.
Yeah, it's a good day. We're having a good day.
We got our little goof juice here.
Little goof juice. This is, what do we call this one? The cash grab?
This is one. It literally is the cash grab. It looks like floor detergent.
It looks like something that would harm me.
What's that, Fabuloso?
It tastes pretty fabuloso, let me tell you.
I'll tell you that much.
It's cold open right there, I think.
Oh, man.
Maybe not yet. Well,
not yet. I just wanted to see if it made a noise, but these are plastic cups.
I bought okay. Tragedy struck, everybody. I gotta tell you.
Tragedy struck at WeezfestCast HQ.
I got a text last night from my dear friend Becky, who said, hey, a lot of martini glasses at Goodwill, because I mentioned I was looking for a couple. Mm-hmm. And I was like, cool. Drove to Goodwill, picked out a couple real nice ones, wrapped them up in the plastic bag as nice as I could.
Yeah.
You know, it's Goodwill. You're not getting
crazy.
You get what you pay for, and we love them for it. Mm-hmm. Put them safely in the back seat of my car. Got home.
You'd think.
Just shattered. I don't know how it happened.
Shattered my freaking reality when you told me that.
Honestly, shattered my dreams, kind of like the Teal album did when it came out.
All right. Well, where were you? Where were you?
Glasses. We got some.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we got some Teal Fabuloso we're drinking.
Some cash grab.
Because
we're talking about
the Teal.
Teal album. Okay, let's do
Where
it.
were you?
I feel like we need a more official, so we can do like the title card. We need more official.
3, 2, 1. I think that got picked up.
Probably didn't.
Probably not.
Anyways.
Charlie, where were you when this album came out?
So this album, of course, was a surprise drop in January 2019. I was in my bed in my apartment in Nashville, and there was like a severe thunderstorm or something happening. So I was up late, pulled up my phone or my laptop, I forget which, probably my phone because I was in bed, to like check and see if I needed to, seek shelter, because I was on the 4th floor. I was up there. Yeah. See if I need to go downstairs. Yeah. And open my phone, unlock it. There's a little notification from Spotify. New Weezer album. And I was like, that can't be right, because, Black Album was coming out later in like a month.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, that can't be right. Flip it open. It's the Teal album. And I'm like, what? Why?
And did you see like the picture right away, too?
I saw the picture, and I was like,
yeah, what's happening?
And then I saw Africa, and I said, okay.
Yeah,
I get it.
because that had been out already, and then
Yeah, I get it. I get
yeah,
it.
it's a goofy little album. But you know what? Like, I love that shit. I
Colin.
fucking love how fucking goofy
Okay.
this shit is.
Colin likes the Teal album. I really don't like the Teal album.
I don't think that the songs sound particularly good
Well,
or
yeah.
amazing. I love the energy of it though.
What energy?
The fucking,
What energy?
they're
Okay.
like we have a studio album coming out that people have been waiting a little while for. But you know what? Let's
People were
drop
not waiting for the Black album. No one was waiting for that.
I was waiting for it.
That album sucks. This whole like era of Weezer is just trash. It's so bad.
It's tragic, but it's like watching like a fire that you can't look away from.
It's like seeing your best friend, like who you've been pulling for, get his life together with Everything Will Be Alright again in the White Album, and like seeing your best friend get his life together and then just like immediately fumble and like just ruin everything. That's what this was like, man.
Oh my god,
it's so bad.
But you can't deny that, like, talking about like goofy energy, like there was the campaign to get at Weezer to cover Africa, about that little girl, which like that was cool and stuff. And then what do? They cover Rosanna.
Okay, well we'll get into the whole timeline because there's something actually there's something even funnier about that.
Oh my god.
Let's just overview. Okay. I don't like the Teal album.
Yeah.
You do like the Teal album.
Fun.
Maybe one of us will change our opinion.
Telling me seeing Weezer play No Scrubs live was a spiritual experience.
Here's the thing. I am willing to give this album another shot today because I do think it's funny. I'm gonna try to. I was talking on the Green Album episode, like. Mm-hmm. It's not fair to judge the Green Album as the follow-up to Pinkerton, and I feel like it's not fair to judge the Teal Album as like coming after this sort of comeback era. So today I'm willing to look at it outside of that and see if it changes anything for me.
Yeah.
Don't think it will, but yeah. So
Give
this
it an
is
open ear.
Yeah. So this is Weezer's only cover album, excluding the Christmas EP.
Yes.
Which you love.
I love that. I love all the Christmas songs they did, even the originals. Those were good.
Yeah. Weezer and Christmas is like
Weezer and Christmas and Weezer and like covers. It's
I don't know
they always
that.
like they do it all the time.
They
usually put it as like a specialty bonus thing, and as you said, this is the first one that was like this.
Yeah, that was when I was kind of compiling my notes and everything for this. I found a list of just every cover they've put out. It was a lot more than I remember them doing. A lot more. So kind of puts this into perspective that it's weird that it almost took them this long to do a cover album.
Yeah.
But Colin, what do you have like a favorite cover album, like, or what do you think are some of the best cover albums that bands have put out?
The Vic Ferrari 6-track. I was at this thrift store in Appleton and I found a Vic Ferrari.
Dude, shout out to Vic Ferrari.
Yeah, cover album.
Do you think Vic Ferrari has ever played a Weezer song?
But outside of Blue Album? Probably. I don't know. I feel like if everyone covers, it's always Blue Album, but I don't know if Vic Ferrari has done a Weezer song. That's not like in their brand.
I've seen Vic Ferrari one time at Paperfest in passing with like, I don't know, it was cool.
Which I believe Paperfest talking about good summer vibes at the Teal album.
Well,
baby.
but just like cover albums, I know for me, I think the best cover album, or at least the best one that I know of, is Garage Inc. by Metallica.
I don't think I've heard that one.
Oh, well, it's like a double album, and they covered a lot of old punk and like old school metal stuff, and it's really well done. And the reason I like that one is because it's like stuff that influenced them.
Oh, sure.
Done in their style, which I think is cool. Which kind of brings me to my first point I wanted us to touch on today is like, what makes a good cover?
What's interesting to me is that I think what I like the most in covers is when it's a band that I followed and I understand their like musical stylings and they adopt that into like the cover, you know? Like, I think when you're, like, I've played in, like, a cover band. I mean, technically, we've both played in the cover band.
Yeah.
The whole thing about WeezFest was replicating the sound to a T.
Yes. No,
but for the life of me, my favorite, like, is when, like, a band, like, Feed Me Jack does it. They did a small like covers EP where they covered Burnt Jam, Reelin' in the Years, a couple of other tunes, and they're kind of like silly little math proggy style, and it's like rampant throughout those covers. You know, we were listening to the Burnt Jam one a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a little sax solo, there's some twinkly guitar stuff.
It's a really cool take on it. I'm with you. Yeah, well, I mean, what are some other of your favorite covers that come to mind?
Just covers it. I mean, I think I said this on Reddit, but it was the weight Weezer, which is funny because they didn't really change that much about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Favorite covers of all time?
So Toots and the Maytals did a cover of "Take Me Home, Country Road." They did like a reggae version of that.
Oh heck yeah!
Super good. I love that. Also, are you familiar with Leanne La Havas did a cover of "Weird Fishes"?
Yep. Yeah.
I really like that one.
Shout out to Jacob. That's like his favorite artist is Leanne La Havas. Yeah.
I gotta talk to him about that then because I love that. Her album, that specific album, is one of my favets.
Yeah.
I gotta talk to him about that.
Yeah. Lovely. And the Tiny Desk is super sick.
Yes. But yeah, covers where they take it and they do it in their style, or I think taking a song and adapting it and like adding something to it. I feel like the answer that a lot of people always give to is like Johnny Cash covering "Hurt," where it's like you improved it, it's better than the original.
Right.
Or we were just listening to the Charles Bradley doing "Changes" by Black Sabbath, making it more of like a soul song.
That was super cool.
Stuff like that where you're translating it into a different genre or a different style or something, which is why part of the reason that Teal Album doesn't work for me. I don't think there's enough change going on. These songs. Yeah. And I did listen to, on the drive down here, I listened to all of the original versions of these songs because I want to see if there's more that they changed than I remember.
Fair enough.
I don't think there's...
I don't believe so either, but I know that Weezer could if they wanted to, though.
Right.
If they really wanted to, like, switch it, I don't think that this album needed more work to be done on it, It just, I think it was, as silly as it sounds, I don't think it was a cash grab either, though, because, like, I don't think that people like this album very much.
Well... Let's look at the cold hard facts.
The facts.
Because I have some notes here. Surprisingly big hit. Hit number 5 on the Billboard Hot 200.
Oh my god.
That's just silly. Number 1 on the Billboard rock charts. Teal Album by Weezer.
Oh my god. Wait.
Africa specifically. Hold on, let me find my Africa notes.
That one that is still on the radio.
Africa. I can't find it. I'll find it when we scroll down when we get there. But it was number 1 on the alternative. It was their first number 1 on the alternative chart since Pork and Beans. A decade.
It was a cover of a Toto song.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, I've scrolled so far too.
We've wheezed
I wheezed
from the sun.
Oh boy. Oh jeez. Jeez.
Cut.
We're back. Okay. But yeah. For an album that got surprise dropped on a random night in January to go to number 5 on the Billboard and number 1 on the Billboard rock charts.
That's outstanding.
Is it though?
Funny. Like, that's so funny.
I think part of me is like, this
You're
is
a
sad.
Half-ass cover album.
Exactly.
This is everything I love.
Quarter ass.
This is everything I love about it, though.
Dude,
it's not even lightning in a bottle. It's just like throwing shit at the wall until something sticks.
No, it's running a joke into the ground is what
it
is.
Oh, man.
Okay.
They didn't run that joke, though. They dropped a cover album, and then everyone else took it and ran with it.
Right. Actually, yeah. The Africa, yeah. Well...
That was my other speaker, my backup.
Oh, okay. We're good. We're good. Hey, everybody.
It's all wheezy and breezy.
Calm down. Okay.
Calm down.
You're getting really worked up right now. It's okay.
Let's all take a moment here.
All right. This is a Weezer checkpoint.
This is a Weezer
mental health checkpoint.
How are you guys doing?
It's a
How's your families?
Is everyone having a nice Weester?
Did everybody have a good Weester? Comment your favorite memory from Weester this year.
Mine was when Rivers Cuomo dressed up like a big bunny rabbit and laid an egg and gave it to me.
I saw him do that. It was weird. That was weird
weird
because that was
like,
at the children's museum.
Why are you at the children's museum in Appleton, Rivers?
Wisconsin.
What are you doing?
He was doing character research.
He like vanished down into the sewers. We never saw him again.
He scurried away.
And he left behind a note that just said Teal Album coming January 20 whatever.
This is before Arnie existed, but if Arnie would, I think he probably would have gutted that thing.
Put up the picture. No,
don't put up the. It's graphic.
Arnie, remember Arnie from the Red Album
He's
cast?
killed 2 rabbits.
He's a vicious murderer.
We had to, you know what we had to do to stop him from doing this? We had to put a little bell on his collar so that the rabbits would know he's there.
Poor guy.
What?
He hates Weezer. Anyways, Teal Album, it got them a lot of attention and kind of brought them back to the mainstream for a little bit. They did the music video for Africa with Weird Al. That was like a spoof of the Undone video. And then they did the video for Take On Me with Finn Wolfhard.
Yep, like the back in the back in time.
But yeah, weird thing to blow up for them.
Yeah,
like I don't know. Right place at the right time, maybe. Who's to say?
Also, I mean, that's just another prime example of Weezer being steeped in the internet culture.
For sure,
and being responsive to it.
Mm-hmm. It was produced by a gentleman named Mark Rankin, who had a couple, I think, worked with like Queens of the Stone Age and a CeeLo Green album I saw, I think. But Africa and Rosanna were produced by...
Drum roll, please.
Patrick Wilson.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
This
that
father
is so talented.
That drummer,
those tracks sound good.
Hey, speaking of drummers...
Oh,
we were supposed to have a little guest today.
Beef.
We got some WeezFest beef
within the ranks of WeezFest. Thomas. Look,
Thomas doesn't even get a nickname for this one. Thomas Killian.
I'm ashamed.
We're sad. We really wanted to hang out with you today.
Colin started crying so hard he threw up. We had to delay the podcast for 6 hours because he was so dehydrated.
We got started at 4 a.m.
Yeah. Colin threw up. Thomas.
I went. Bleh.
We're sad. Well, we'll get you.
We'll figure it out.
Or we don't have to. Let's just hang out, man. We miss you.
I miss you, dude.
And Matt, we miss you too. I saw you at a taco place the other day, Matt.
Oh, what?
Yeah, Matt was there.
I love Matt too.
I'm
happy that we've surrounded ourselves with the Weez freaks that we have.
The Weez freaks. It's good vibe. Hey, Colin, can I just say it's good vibes in the WeezFest studio today.
It's great vibes in the WeezFest studio. You know what? This is I'm here to hang.
Listen to some silly little Teal covers.
This is genuinely, I look forward to these.
Yeah.
Because we just get to hang out and listen to shoot the shit into some Weezer.
And drink some Drano.
Drink some Fabuloso.
I'm feeling Fabuloso. I probably already said that.
Doesn't matter. Say it one more time.
Also, I have to redact a statement that I made on our episode of the Red Album cast. I said that Red Album was the only album to feature vocals from other members of the band, lead vocals. Colin, and you stopped me. You stopped me, and you didn't stop me hard enough. So. He said, "I don't think so." He's right, because Brian Bell did some vocals on the Teal album.
That's right.
He sang some Black Sabbath. So
I
apologize for that, everyone.
Yeah, and everyone get out the comments.
I've heard your concerns. I've gotten your emails, and I'm working to become a better person. So just I want you to know
don't work on becoming a better person. Be a better person.
You're right. I'm not working on it. I'm doing it. Starting today.
We love that.
By listening to the Teal album.
Starting on Weezer Sunday.
Amen. Weezus is risen.
Hey, FBI doesn't stand for female body inspector anymore. It stands for firm believer in Jesus.
Amen. The 4 members of the band also have production credits, though, which is where I was trying to get with this whole...
Well, I think that maybe that part of that is that like they didn't have time to get the whole... They just wanted to kind of get in and get out with this one.
Yep.
As you said, it is like a quarter-assed album, you know?
But yeah, it was surprise released only like 4 weeks before the Black Album came out, too, which is why part of me thinks... We'll get more into this on the Black Album episode in a few weeks, but part of me thinks that maybe they were thinking Black Album's not going to do so hot. we need a backup plan.
Right.
Throw him a covers album. Just see what happens.
Fair
like,
enough.
Due to the success of Africa the summer before, I just have this inkling that, like... Because Black Album, I think, is a bit of a stinker. If I'm being totally honest with you.
I like Can't Knock the Hustle and some of those tracks, or those other tracks, but it's a hard album to, like, get into.
Right. So that's my fan theory on this, is that this was kind of like a sort of an insurance plan, that if Black Album is a real...
Well, it paid off.
Yeah, exactly. It did.
Paid off.
Yeah, for sure. Which is part of why I think it's maybe partly true. But this album is also kind of criticized by me and by some other people who don't like it, as kind of the covers are bland. It's sort of unimaginative. There's no, like, rhyme or reason to the track list. Like, some of it is like, okay, they're doing 80s songs, but then there's no Scrubs and there's Stand By Me. And Rivers actually used, like, Spotify streams as a basis for the track list.
Really?
Which kind of makes me even more mad, because...
I think that, like, Rivers is also, like, he's I don't know, it could have just been more programming homework.
Yeah.
You know, he just built an AI to tell him what songs to cover.
Yeah, it's something like that. Because you think of a band doing a cover album, and it's like, why don't you do songs? Like, they could have done an album that was all the stuff from Heart Songs. You know, they could have done stuff...
that would have been...
Stuff that was, like, meaningful in literally any way, but instead it's like, Billie Jean has a lot of streams. Let's do a Weezer version of that. That'd be funny.
Funny.
Is it, though?
Funny.
It's not.
We're laughing now. We're laughing right now.
We can laugh now because they've put out better albums since. But in 2019, look, things were looking bleak at the old... Being a Weezer fan in 2019. I'm gonna come out and say it. Things were looking bleak.
Sure. I mean, who's to say, you know, if this album hadn't come out with the what would have happened with COVID-19, you know?
Yeah.
Weezer-19.
Yeah, maybe this is the only reason Weezer's still together.
Think of this, right? COVID-19 cover album in 2019. The signs were there all along.
Hold on. Wait. If you take the first word from every song on the Teal album and string them together, it spells out... No, okay. Censor that, because otherwise we're going to be on some weird lists on YouTube.
We're already on a weird list.
It's true. Shout out to all 70 whatever subscribers. Don't know who you are.
We tried to take a screen cap at 69 and my phone was dying.
And we had too many subscribers to do it.
And then by the time everything came together, it was up to... So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. I hope you're all having a good Weester Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to the track list, though. But here's my little talking point for you, Colin. Teal 2 was coming out, let's say 2024. What songs do you want to hear Weezer cover?
All right, so what songs do I see on Teal 2? I mean, yeah, because
we'll say it's the Pink album.
It's the Pink album,
the pastel pink album, the magenta album.
The magenta album. Okay. Push It to the Limit.
Okay.
I see Push It to the Limit. I see
Take It to the Limit.
Push It to the Limit. That's the lyric. It's Push It to the Limit.
No, but I'm saying they also do Take It to the Limit.
Push It to the Limit, Take It to the Limit.
Isn't that an Eagles song?
It is.
Okay.
And then what is the Distance?
Yeah.
I want to see Weezer do Cake for sure. I mean, that'd be a tour. That'd be a hell of a tour.
The Weezer Cake tour.
The Weezer Cake tour. The Weez Cake.
I don't know. Someone more clever than I can come up with something.
Dude, get Rosanna on there because that was...
Yeah.
I love that cover.
Yeah.
But I just love Rosanna. And you know what? I'm gonna throw one more on there. Weezer should cover Say It Ain't So. And put it on a cover album, but they should make it seem like a middle school cover thing where everything's falling apart.
Can smash down.
Yeah,
put that video up. You guys see that video? I hope those kids are doing well. They've gone on to have lucrative
They're insurance salesmen now. Probably they have real jobs.
More money than both of us combined.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, like I don't know. what I would want Weezer to cover, I would love for them to do an album of all Beach Boys covers.
Oh yeah,
just like Rivers has done a couple of them on like the Alone albums and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they like
that'd be fun because that would be personal too.
Yeah, I think it's airing maybe tonight, but they did like a Grammy salute to the Beach Boys, and I guess Weezer filmed a cover of California Girls that's going to be on TV maybe tonight. It's coming up like Weezer this week Sunday. Or next week or something. Yeah, I'd love to see them do some Beach Boys covers. Yeah. I'd also... So that's what I would want them to do, but I feel like if they were going to do Teal 2... I feel like
Teal 2 is,
it'd be like...
different energy.
All Star by Smash Mouth.
Dude, if they did Walking on the Sun,
Walking on the Sun. No, see, because it has to be like meme songs.
No, I get it.
It'd be like...
I get it.
It'd be like, what are some meme songs
also,
right now?
Sidebar, but like, Astro Lounge is one of the best albums that was ever put out, ever. And I don't think that enough people talk about that. People talk on Smash Mouth, they're like, oh, it's the funny bit.
They do have...
Astro Lounge is a good album.
They they did some very inventive things with the ska sound, I will say. Yeah. For all the funny jokes about Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
As a Weezer fan, I can empathize with the Smash Mouth fans.
Yeah, totally.
Not doing so hot these days, but they had a good run.
Well, it all relates back because their lead singer was the lead singer from a Weezer tribute band now.
Oh, really? Their new singer?
Their new singer is the dude from Geezer.
Oh.
And also that... But because of the Schizophonic show that I ran sound for,
shout out to the Schizophonics.
Love those guys.
Best band in the world.
They know him, the new singer.
Oh yeah, you were telling
Smash
me
Mouth.
this. Yeah.
And he apparently does that. He does the Weezer tribute thing. He does Smash Mouth, goes on tour, does that, and then he is an insurance salesman.
Good for him.
To make money.
Good for him.
To live in LA.
Yeah. Living in LA. That's a Weezer. LA. That's a little Weezer egg.
It's another Weezer egg, dude. You found it. So track 1 is All Stars. Yeah. Smash Mouth.
I think they would do Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley because we're about 15 years past that joke, so it's just in time for Weezer.
Especially because the Foo Fighters did it too.
Oh yeah.
They had a run where they were doing Never Gonna Give You Up.
I think they would do Running Up That Hill.
I would love that. Honestly, I think that would be good.
Probably throw their Enter Sandman cover on there because
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they would probably throw it on there. It's less work.
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, I would not be surprised if they put out another cover album.
Yeah, I mean, the timing has to be both correct and incorrect, where it's something is going to spark it, and then they're going to have these covers kind of ready to go, I feel like.
Yeah, they've done a lot of covers that they have just in the bank. The best Weezer cover, if you haven't heard it, they covered the State Farm theme song.
Oh my God.
It's stupidly
it's so good. Amazing.
This is not a joke. It's so good. You need to look it up if you haven't heard it.
Seriously.
Yes, State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Yeah.
Weezer covered it, and it's so good.
I was surprised. It came across. I don't remember how I found out, but I think it came across my my little search recommendations. Yeah. And then I was like, no way. And then I was like, okay, let's click on it and see what's going on, and just was blown away.
They somehow got the Pinkerton guitar tone again.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Dug that one out of the vault. I don't know.
Dug it out of the vault. But yeah, Teal Album. Mixed opinions. I will say anecdotally, I feel like I know more people that like it than don't like it. My friend Lauren, who's not really a huge Weezer fan, I don't think she's going to watch this, but was texting me about how awesome this album was one day, and I was like, I'm surprised you're listening to this, but cool.
I feel like amongst Weezer fans, it's not loved very much, but amongst non-Weezer fans, it was...
Yeah.
I think this is kind of what happened.
Are you saying you're a non-fan, Colin? Or are you saying
you're not a real fan? I'm saying to be a Weezer fan, you have to be a fan through and through. You can't be no fake fan, liking only half the albums. You're going to say Red you don't like. You're going to say Teal you don't like. You say you like it now.
I said Red was some of their best work, sir.
All I said about Green was that I just haven't top to bottom it.
Okay, well,
I love all these music.
Let's not fight. Here's my problem with the Teal album. One of my problems with the Teal album is the track list, which we've been talking about. But to me, it feels like there's been this trend in the past 5 to 10 years, and I feel like the thing that started it was the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
But there's this big trend in most forms of media where they're shoving a nostalgic song in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And like Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously it was worked into the plot with like his mixtapes and stuff. But then like Stranger Things, it makes sense there too because it's set in the 80s. But it's like it's been getting so blatant, and like every movie trailer and like every movie that comes out like has to have like, hey, you remember this? You remember this song?
Well, do you remember it? But also, a lot of these people are too young to remember it.
That's
so,
also
they're
true.
able to like reuse it pretty easily.
That's true. I don't know. I feel like there's been a lot of that in media though, like a lot of shoving in songs just because like they're nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's kind of what this album feels like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm a little on the fence with like I think that it's a weak track because like I don't necessarily have an issue with rehashing old like songs because like a lot of these
repiping?
Songs, what's that?
Rehashing and repiping. Sorry.
That one went over my head.
That's a little Weezer joke.
That's
for you guys.
If you didn't pick up on that one like I did. But like taking like some like it's sometimes it's a nice reminder because I like there's a lot of music. We live in like an insane age that music is constantly available and no single person will ever listen to all music that is available. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be something. And then, but yeah, so like there's all this old stuff sometimes it is like a nice reminder, but it would be nice if it wasn't like Stand By Me, I think is a very weird choice to put on this album.
Yes.
It doesn't fit at all.
It does not.
Know,
and the way strange. That they did it is weird.
It's a weird song to like. I've covered it before, and it's just a weird. I don't know. I feel like it worked when it came out originally, and that's what it was meant to be.
It needs a certain level of nuance, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Should we get into the timeline? I mean, there's not like a ton to talk about for this one because like they didn't write it, and it was surprise dropped. But here's kind of what I can piece together. So December 2017, it's about 2 months after Pacific Daydream comes out. This Twitter account pops up called Weezer Africa. And they just start tweeting every single day and like replying to every single one of Rivers' tweets and just like cover Africa, you nerds. Like, which
love the dedication.
I wonder why that's like, was that song a meme before like Stranger Things?
I don't even want to say it like a meme, but it's a good song.
I mean, it's a classic song. It was a big hit, but like I feel like Stranger Things, it was kind of when it re-entered
the popular culture. The thing about like this is like a sidebar about that song in and of itself, and it's weird that like that's Toto's biggest song because when if you listen to the rest of Toto's music, it feels like an outlier. It doesn't feel necessarily like a traditional Toto song, and the band talked about that when not Jeff Porcaro, but like one of the other like main songwriters in that band brought it to rehearsal and is like, hey, here's this song, and it's like thinking like African Savannah drums and stuff like that, and he pitched it, and they're like, that doesn't sound like something we would write. Yeah. So they didn't really want to do it. But then they were like, okay, whatever. Well, like, it's fun. So they put it out, and it ended up being, like, their biggest song. So weird that it's, like, an outlier in and of itself. So it's just, like, always had this kind of weird notoriety attached to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a little poppy for Toto, I'd say. It's also a theory that the lyrics are about werewolves. You can read up about it online. I think it's true.
I don't have to look into that. I was not aware.
It's about a werewolf, I should say. It's a guy who's a werewolf. But yeah, starts tweeting at them, and like, her name was Mary Clim or Mary Climb, I believe. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. This like teenage girl just starts tweeting at Weezer every single day, like cover Africa. Eventually, Pat like gets in contact with her and is just like, haha, this is funny. Good old Pat Wilson, like we love Pat.
Earning his executive producer credit on that song.
Yes, Pat Wilson. Greater than Rick Rubin.
Every day of the week.
Pat
can play an instrument. Pat's been in a band. Pat has more music industry experience than Rick Rubin has hairs on his head.
Pat seems like a dude who would go out of his way to help you jump your car if it was not starting.
Dude, Pat would like help you change a tire on the side of the road. Pat is the father we all wish we had.
Pat, come to our pod.
I love you, Pat.
I don't think Pat would come to our pod, but if he did, I think
Pat come to WeezfestCast.
We could get some good insight about the Teal album.
I'd love to talk to Pat about just his experience as a dad and balancing life and work.
Colin, if Pat Wilson was sitting right here between us, what would you ask him right now?
What is the first thing I would ask Patrick Wilson if he was sitting next to me right now? How is acting in that one? There's an actor named Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, he was in the Conjuring.
That's
series.
what it was. I was gonna say how is acting in the Conjuring.
Oh, that's like fun.
And
joke.
then have him be like, "Whoa, what?"
Do you think he's ever heard that one?
He's probably like 100 times heard that one. He's probably sick of it. He'll probably never talk to me again.
Do you think the other Pat Wilson has heard the hey, how's
Weezer
it like
thing?
being in Weezer?
Probably.
He probably hates Weezer.
Yeah, I can see
He looks
that.
like a dude who's too good for Weezer.
That's why Pat's too good for us.
Yeah.
Pat, come to our pod.
Pat, either Pat, honestly, other Pat. I like the Conjuring movies. I'll talk to you about.
I'll talk about the Conjuring.
Yeah. Kind of how Mary conjured up this Weezer cover with her tweets.
Yeah, for how long was that? Like it was like a 2-year campaign or something.
Yeah,
like
it
that?
was. So it started in December 2017, and the Africa cover came out in May of 2019. So about a year and a half, almost.
Yeah, basically a year and a half.
Every day, just like the dude from Diet Light playing the Buddy Holly riff
for like a year, 3 years, or something like that. Yeah. It was like 900 days or something.
960 something days. Wisconsin band Diet Light. Big fan of them.
Fantastic.
Seen them a few times. Big fan of them.
Very cool.
So meanwhile, that's a Twin Peaks reference. Meanwhile, remember that part? That was pretty scary.
I remember I was only listening to the Twin Peaks soundtrack for like a month and a half straight.
Colin had a Twin Peaks phase.
Yeah, I only listened to like that, like the music from Twin Peaks for like a month, and it was the most like unnerved I have ever been in my entire life. I was constantly living on the edge, going to Woodman's, staring at cans of beans.
Pork and beans, that is.
That's a WeezfestCast reference.
That's a little Easter egg for you. Twin Peaks is a good show. Lots of silly stuff happens on that television show.
Some silly little things.
What if WeezfestCast had Twin Peaks vibes?
Oh my god. I love the Twin Peaks, the Seinfeld Sign Peaks.
Sign Peaks. That's really good.
For April Fools, did you see that they made it Friends Peaks?
Yeah.
And like a lot of people got mad and unsubscribed.
Kind of like how people are gonna unsubscribe from this podcast
Wish we
when after they watch me talk about the Green Album.
For 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
We keep saying that it's like, no, we'll rein it in for this one. This one's gonna be shorter, and this is gonna be like 6 hours long.
We're on track for this to be a 10-hour episode. I'm gonna pass out. So meanwhile, Rivers in like spring of 2018, summer 2018, like a little while after Pacific Daydream, was doing interviews and like promo stuff, and he kept telling people new music is coming on May 25th. New album, Black Album, May 25th. Save the date. Just like no word from their management, no word from Crush Records, like no word from any other members of the band, but he was like adamant, new music, May 25th, Black Album. And when we do the Black Album episode, I don't want to get too deep into it right now, but like there may have been plans to do the Black Album that soon. That got changed. As we were talking about on the White Album episode, like they wanted to do it right after White Album because Rivers wanted to do something totally different. But like Rivers is hyping up May 25th, new music coming. So what happens on May 24th, 2018? They drop the Rosanna cover, which
the biggest troll
is actually really funny for so many reasons. Because like the Africa cover, that whole thing had gained traction on Twitter.
Yeah.
Plus, like I was on some Weezer spaces online during this time, and people were like, "No, man, they're surprise dropping the Black Album tomorrow." Like people were convinced it was coming, and then they just drop a random Toto cover.
That's not Africa.
But
oh my god, Rosanna,
that
one of the best songs of all time.
I think after we do the Teal album, let's just listen to Rosanna.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think that cover is better than anything on the Teal album. Really,
I would agree. I'm kind of like I understand why I wasn't on Teal, but like I just love Rosanna, and I've wanted to cover it for so long, and it's just
that song rules,
it's
man.
Feel good.
Toto's really good,
dude. Toto rules.
Yeah,
well, that's what happens when you get a bunch of actual like professional like studio musicians like in the same. In the same, dude. If we tried writing if we ever tried writing an album or any music, I don't think it would go well.
I mean, yeah. It would not go well.
It would not. I don't think we have it in us.
So May 24th, Rosanna comes out. It's weird because I don't know if that was the same day exactly or just like the same week, but that was right around the same time when Childish Gambino dropped This Is America.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason in my brain, I cannot separate the two. It like could not be two more opposite ends of like...
Yeah. This Is America.
I just like... I
keep
just,
you all the way.
Oh my God. This Is America rules. And there's the video where... Okay, I was talking to somebody the other day and I was like, you ever see the video where someone took Call Me Maybe and put it to the This Is America?
Yeah. Oh my God.
and she was like, you like that because you're a Weezer fan. And I was like, that doesn't make sense, but it also does make sense, and I don't know why.
The fact that my feelings are hurt secondhand.
Yeah. No, I was like, I don't know why that makes so much sense, but that's a funny video, too, because, like, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen that one. You know what else I've seen? This is a chicken wing. This is a Eskimo.
This is a WeezfestCast.
Shout out to Donkey, my favorite Wisconsinite.
Donkey. Hey, come on our pod. Come to our pod, Donkey.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you.
We'll be spaghetti and meatballs.
I bet Video Game Donkey likes Weezer.
I feel like he would. Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
He's a cool dude. Well, what happened after?
So 5 days after that, they dropped the Africa cover.
And, everyone knew it was coming.
They wheezed him. Honestly, smart. Like, that's a fun promo thing. That's a fun way to do that. I really like that.
If all the Teal was supposed to be was just a drum up hype for Black, that it did a good job.
Yeah. Even just...
It just took off on its own.
Even if it was just the two Toto covers, I think that would have... I think they should have ended the joke there, personally. I think that was good.
That's fair.
But, like, it blew up to I would say, everyone's surprise. Like, I don't listen to the radio too often, but I was, like, at work or something listening to the radio, and I heard Africa by Weezer on the just like the pop radio station.
I was at JCPenney and I listened to Weezer on the Weezer covering Africa.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, and I think it's just like the perfect storm of like Weezer kind of being a meme band with Africa kind of being this pop culture almost meme song plus like, you know, 80s music has been super popular in recent years with Stranger Things, Guardians of the Galaxy, some of these other things. I think it was like the perfect point in time for Weezer to drop that cover.
Totally.
First song on the Hot 100 chart since If You're Wondering If I Want You To, I Want You To. First #1 alternative hit since Pork and Beans.
Wow.
A Toto cover.
Nuts. Yeah, a Toto cover. And then
that someone cyber bullied them into making.
A year and a half into making.
Yeah.
Good old... Pat hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yep.
Good job, Pat.
Yep.
Who is the producer for Pork and Beans? That was Jackknife Lee. That was Jackknife Lee. I was watching some old like Weezer footage of them, like the Let's Write a Song.
Yeah, you sent me that, I think.
And I went back and I watched all those, and I got to see a snippet of Jackknife Lee like talking to Rivers about it, and he's a fantastic producer.
Yeah.
I think he's like one of like the undisputed greats, because I think a lot of like being a producer is like having an ear for like what people are going to resonate with. And he has a very delicate way that he like talks to artists to get the best out of them. He, like when he was talking to Rivers, he was like, you know, giving him like asking him questions that didn't put the way he felt about things, and he was asking how Rivers felt about stuff. But it's just super cool. And then but to see that, and then who produced If You're Wondering If I Want You To? I think
that was Butch Walker.
Butch Walker. That's cool. That's a solid trio of like hit producers. Pat Wilson now gets to join that trio.
I think Weezer, the quality of the album, at least from what we've seen, is like extremely dependent on who is producing it.
Yeah.
And I know you were just saying Butch Walker did a great job with that, but like I think some of the poor decisions on Ratitude and maybe on Pacific Daydream were also perhaps his doing. But I'll be interested to
we'll
get
look
into that when we do those albums. But I think like when they find a producer that they work really well with, like Rick Ocasek, Jake Sinclair, the guy who did Seasons Autumn, I believe his name is like Tyler Cole.
Okay.
really young, up and coming dude, got some killer results on that one.
Right.
Versus, you look at some of their other albums that aren't so great and the relationships they maybe had with those producers.
Yeah.
I think when they find someone who gets how they write and how they work and like how to work with Rivers, I think that's a huge part of which is maybe why, you have Pat Wilson producing these two Toto covers. I mean, they sound great.
Pat Wilson strikes me as somebody who would be an immense Toto fan.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I can see that.
I feel like he would he wanted to get in there.
He nails the style, like the drumming. He nails it.
Oh yeah, and like the Jeff Porcaro thing, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think these tracks sound huge though, and they really play to Weezer's strengths.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, those are like if it was like of that kind of like groovy '80s kind of stuff, I think it would have been a fuller album.
100%.
It was more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's I would have expected them to do a bunch of '80s songs. I don't know why.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. But Toto Responds by a few months later, they covered Hash Pipe, and they did a lot more with it than Weezer did with Africa. And then like Steve Lukather and like tries to get in contact with Rivers to be like, hey, it's cool that you guys did this, and it's like bringing a lot of fans to our music and stuff. Rivers just straight up ignores him, just doesn't talk to him. And then I guess like some members of Toto were backstage
Rockstar move.
Yeah. Some members of Toto were backstage at Jimmy Kimmel when Weezer was there, and they like were backstage and tried to talk to them, and they were just all super weird. Like Rivers was super weird about it.
Yeah.
And that was when they realized too that like Africa, the Weezer version, was a huge hit. And then they were like, well, you guys realize you're gonna have to play this at every show you do. Like this is your song now. Like this is your burden.
That's your It's they passed it on. Oh my god.
And it kind of has become their burden. Like it's for better or for worse, because I know that there was a playlist on Spotify and we were just looking up covers earlier that was like covers that are better than Weezer's version of Africa. Like I think they got a lot of hate for that cover and how overplayed it was and how,
which is not necessarily their fault, but
right.
I think it wasn't. Yeah, as you said, like we keep coming back to the fact that it was just kind of like pushed out. It was hasty. They can't have it compete with the Black Album,
right?
So they have to like push it out and get things. It just has to be done.
It's like 1966, Beach Boys put out Pet Sounds, but then their label was like, people didn't like Pet Sounds, we need something for the Christmas season. So they recorded Beach Boys Party, which is like the one that Barbara Ann is off of.
Oh, okay.
And it's just like acoustic, like it's them at a party, even though it's like doctored to sound that way. But they're like, we need people to buy this one also.
Right,
because not enough people bought Pet Sounds. I feel like that's kind of Teal Album and Black Album in a way.
Totally.
You heard it here, folks. Black Album is as good as Pet Sounds.
We've lock it in. That's two terrible opinions. Pinkerton is Abbey Road, and Pet Sounds is the Black Album.
I don't like the Black Album. I don't. 2019 was a bad year. It was a wild
ride,
Weezer, man.
It was a wild ride.
But you know what? They made it through. They're making good music again.
I love Seasons.
Oh yeah, dude. Seasons is good.
They can take a couple years for a little break here after that.
Yeah.
If they need to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, so like we don't know much else about this album because like it was kind of slapped together. They did have a couple exclusive merch items that I was looking on eBay trying to find. Couldn't find any, but they released an official Teal Weezer Velcro wallet.
Oh.
And if you were one of the first 100 people to buy it, you got a $1 bill signed by Weezer in your Velcro
funny.
wallet. I wish I had one.
What was the we were joking about getting Teal Album on cassette.
Oh yeah.
I would love that.
I'd buy Teal Album on cassette. I'd buy Van Weezer on cassette, but you have to buy the whole $130 Van Weezer box set just to get the cassette version of it.
I'm not ready for that kind of an investment. I just paid my taxes.
Oh god, me too.
Yeah.
I bought Van Weezer on bright neon yellow colored vinyl.
Oh yeah.
Just to get the secret bonus. There's a secret bonus track on there that's no joke they remade a Blue Album song. Like they just re-recorded a Blue Album demo, and it sounds insane.
Really?
Yeah, and I bought it just to have that.
Good for that. That's a good reason.
Yeah, and you could also get a teal Rubik's Cube where all the squares were teal.
That makes me feel like a Weezer genius.
Somebody stole their mom's credit card and bought that. Some kid. And
Yeah,
mom was like, why'd you buy that?
Some kid. So what happened?
But yeah, I mean, like that's kind of how the Teal album went down. I knew that this album was bigger than it had any right to be when I was at a bookstore in Nashville trying to buy a book for something. I don't know. You know, you go to bookstores for that kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
they got Legos. That's why I go to bookstores.
They do got Legos, and if you buy a book, you get a free coupon for a free cookie in the cafe sometimes.
Absolutely good.
Shout out to support your local bookstores.
Support your local bookstores, please.
Don't go to the big bookstores.
Don't go to B&N.
Don't go to B&N. That stands for bad and
not
never.
Good.
Yeah.
Bad. Go to the Starbucks and the B&N, dude.
Yeah.
If that was if someone took me to Barnes and Noble as a first date to the Starbucks cafe, I don't know if it'd be a second date.
I mean,
take me to a real bookstore.
Take me to a real bookstore, real coffee.
Let's go to Lion's Mouth. What if we held hands in the Lion's Mouth?
What if? They probably got some books there for you. I totally forgot oh yeah, I knew that this album was big when I went to this bookstore and they had like some records on display and the Teal album was there and I was like, good lord,
goodness gracious,
this is Weezer's legacy. Kind of how like every now and then I'll walk into somewhere in Green Bay or in Appleton and someone will be like, hey, you're the WeezfestCast guy.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
This is my burden.
This is our burden
to the WeezfestCast guys, dude.
Can't wait to do it again.
Can't wait to do it again,
though. It's so silly.
You gotta wonder how
there's worse things to be recognized for.
Yeah. You gotta wonder how Rivers Cuomo feels that his biggest #1 hit in a decade was a cover of Africa.
That they hastily self-produced basically and slapped together.
You gotta wonder, like that's gotta be kind of it's kind of gotta bum you out a little bit.
I mean, apparently it got to him because they were backstage at Jimmy Kimmel and they were weird they're weird in general. You know. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that this album didn't need to happen. I think it's a cash grab. I think it's a little soulless, but let's listen to it.
Yeah.
And let's see how we feel.
For sure.
We're heading in. Any other thoughts before we jump in, Colin?
I'm ready to hear these ones, and as I said before, it's not. This album was just a quick little push for Before Black because this isn't kind of in that weird like ups and downs portion of their career.
Yeah.
You know, it's unfair to say to Weezer, I feel like, but I feel like Teal is what like revitalized like their full career.
Yes, for better or for worse,
and I don't think that they would have the eyes on Black Van Weezer in the Seasons albums if Africa didn't come out.
Right. Yeah, I think that's definitely fair to say, and I like. As sad as it is, I do think it's very on brand.
Yeah,
like
totally.
It makes sense with how into just like internet trends and memes and stuff that they are. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it for real. Before we start listening to an album, for once, favorite cover on Teal. 3, 2, 1. Happy Together. Okay.
I'll be basic about this one. Okay. Happy Together was fun, but I just love how Africa sounds.
Yeah, that's fair. I think
it's half-assed, quarter-assed, eighth-assed.
I will say, like, people do on the Africa cover a lot and say they didn't do anything with it. I think they did more on that than they did with a lot of the other tracks.
Yeah, totally.
I think the people who say that haven't listened to the original version of Africa in a while, because like the arrangement is very different, and it does have those huge guitars and like it's a lot more rocked out.
I feel like we can say this about this album. This isn't something I want to do for other albums, but I'm curious what your least favorite one on this one is on the count of 3. I'll give you a second if you need it.
Okay, I think I got it.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Billie
Paranoid.
Jean.
Oh, Oh, Billie Jean.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't like the way the vocals sound on it.
Huh.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, you know me, I'm a Brian Bell enjoyer, so.
Classic Brian Bell. I mean,
Classic
me too.
Brian
I get
Bell.
it.
Well, let's see.
Let's cue this up.
For as much as I just don't like this one, I don't have like strong feelings about it.
Sure.
So
exactly.
Like, I'm interested to see how we feel about this listening to it. But
let's get it going.
Let's hop in.
So I was invited to do this podcast because I happen to live here and I hear them wheezing at this Weezer podcast, and I can only imagine that that's why it's called a Weezer podcast. I don't know what Weezer is, but I'm going to make them a beverage. I did not bring any measuring device, but I would like to call attention to, I told Colin we were going to do martinis, and he got Gordon's.
Talking a lot of shit over there.
Okay. So we're gonna get a good dollop in there. Maybe that's too much.
2 shots?
Actually, yeah, we're gonna do 3 shots.
Oh, trying to kill me?
Yeah, dude. Honestly, this is sweet and sour simple mix. And I'm gonna throw some of that in there. You can get some of this blue curacao.
Put on the head. Put on the head.
Alright. And a little shake. Can we call this like the awkward bartender segment?
Yeah, please.
Okay, cool.
Oh, by the way, this is called the cash grab.
The cash grab?
Yeah, because this
album. Oh, okay.
This
I don't know
album
what
is a cash grab.
I don't know what kind of like album they're talking about. Like all I know is that they're wheezing, right? Like what the fuck is Weezer? Did they make a name for it? Alright. And then we're just gonna, from like a really, really tall height, we're just gonna
It's ASMR. Track 1. Africa. Have you ever been to Africa, Colin?
I've done several mission trips to Africa where I was building homes for the home. I've never been outside North of America.
Me neither.
I plan to, though.
I studied a lot of African music when I was in school. But
Oh, African drums are super interesting
Yeah.
to me. They like Mozambique stuff is super dope. Afro-Cuban stuff, I really just want to like be well versed in it. But it's a lot of work because essentially you're taking 20 drummers and putting
Yeah.
them into one kit. So there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, like, what we consider modern music now, where, like, just the concept of instruments playing different things at the same time, like, that just stems from West Africa.
Yeah, it all
interesting.
originated there.
But, anyways, this is a Weezer podcast, and this is Africa.
This is a cover of Africa.
Let's see how we feel. Let's see how we like it.
They get right into it with this
Yeah.
one too. They don't like. I like the original. Like there's like a kind of like this weird like slow build, and just they take their time with it. Weezer was just like, we just kind of got to get this over with.
Yeah, they do kind of cut a lot of these short, actually.
Yeah. Pat.
I like the way that the vocal harmonies and the backing vocals are mixed here. They sound really good singing together.
Yeah, we were talking about one of the other albums. A lot of the other albums, the vocals are mixed pretty close to each other, and there's like everything's pretty clear in these. But the backing vocals are reminiscent of the original, where they're tucked a little bit more. There's more layers. River's vocal performance is, as I enjoyed in this one. Some of the vocal processing in this album I've noticed has been a little weird. There's something I don't quite enjoy, and maybe it comes down to like the production aspect of how this one came together.
I can't imagine they spent too much time.
No, I don't think so.
I know vocal production on this was excuse me, handled by Susie Shin, who
okay.
would go on. She did vocal production on. Well, she produced Van Weezer.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And she did vocal production on some of the season stuff, and I think on OK Human, maybe.
Okay.
So she's been involved with Weezer quite a bit. I'm not sure if this was her.
This be the first, or maybe?
I'm not sure if this was her first one with them.
Maybe she was already working with them on other stuff that hadn't been out yet, and because this was like a rush job, they just kind of brought her in for
also,
it.
She's a younger producer.
Sure.
I think she's younger than you and I, actually.
Oh.
But
what are we doing?
What are we doing? But
listening to Africa by Weezer.
Cool to have such a prominent, woman producer in a field that's
I love
typically
it.
Dominated by men.
That's one of the harshest things about the music industry right now, and it sucks because every band I've ever been in that like has had female members, they'll come to me and be like, that was a sick guitar solo, and they'll go to her, he's like, you looked amazing.
Yeah.
And that shit gets me so mad.
Yeah.
I want to be told I look hot on stage. Love the video for this one.
Yeah, the Weird Al video,
the sweater song.
That was a fun idea.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say that sounds too much like the original. I think the choruses with the big guitars and stuff, I think that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
If you listen to the original, there's really not too much guitar.
No, yeah. They injected a little bit of like their Weezer, isms into it.
Yeah, I think the chorus hits pretty hard. I think it's a decent cover.
Yeah.
I don't think they put as much effort into it as they would like a Weezer song that they wrote.
Totally.
But yeah, I don't have any issues with that cover on its own.
I'm pretty neutral on it.
Yeah.
It's like I like it. It sounds fun. Chorus opens up really well. The thing is, I think if we were saying at the beginning, like it develops a lot more in the original, I think that you have to kind of cut corners when you do a cover like this.
Yeah.
Because, people have heard, if people have heard the original, you have to do something else.
Right.
And it's like, you just kind of get in and get out. That's what this album is all about, I feel like.
For sure. Yeah, I don't have too much more to say. Mm-hmm. It's still interesting that it became as big of a hit as it did.
I agree.
I wonder if
just for the joke, I feel like.
I wonder how much of that was organic too. Like how much of that was maybe Crush Records pushing it, and how much of it was just like it blew up because it's funny. Like
right. Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. Like because I feel like all of the promo for it and stuff, like the video and everything, came after the fact by a few months.
Right.
It's interesting.
I do get the impression that. My gut's telling me that Weezer recorded it and the record company like pushed it. Like they sent it to all like the radio stations. I think that there was like some false kind of hype behind it.
Okay.
Like I think people like dug it and they were having fun with it, but I think that there was some industry behind the scenes pushing that happened with that one.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like the type of thing that you would. Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, so that's Africa. Then we're on to track 2, which, oh man. I saw a thing recently where it was like, what's the best 80s song? Mm-hmm. And like the first response on it was on Reddit or something. It's like, Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Yeah, totally.
I think this is like the quintessential 80s song. Also, I was listening to the original version on the way down here, like, how influential just like the groove and like the synth sound on this track has been. I mean, I can think of like a handful of tracks off the top of my head from the last decade that are straight up ripping off this vibe. But like it works every time, man.
Fun fact about this song in the original, it's not in a standard key. It's in between 2 keys.
Interesting.
It's like pitched weirdly.
So is it it's like the tune to like 4 something else?
It might be something. I never checked in to see what it was, but it's like because I mean whenever I had to learn it for something, I would play along to it and I would think my guitar is out of tune. There's
a Childish Gambino song that I was that's got like one of his later ones where he was a little funkier. That's got a cool bass line that I was trying to learn, and it's like A410 or something.
Oh really?
It's super off. Like I couldn't even find the right thing to tune my bass to learn it because it was so far off.
Right.
I think that probably has something to do with just like the analog synths and how sometimes some of that stuff could like
Could be.
go out of tune.
They can be, and then you can control like that a lot of times with like different modules and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, something I always thought was interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I didn't know that. But yeah,
I've never checked to see if the Weezer version is also that same like out of tune.
I don't know.
I think it's in tune.
I would think it would be in tune also.
Yeah, it's a 440. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's see if this sounds out of tune. This is Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Fun fact: you always think that it's it's a grouping of 3, and where it goes up is the second in a sequence of 3. So it's like
because when it comes back later,
yeah, you get it's one of the most fun. Do you ever watch like the metric modulations of like the original?
No.
They do this. Some people like try to make it sound like it's in like 4.
Oh,
it's weird.
Little lick there from Scott.
That's right.
I think Rivers sings these songs pretty well.
Yeah, no, his performance on these, yeah.
It does drive a little more.
So there's like a debate in the drum community on what the drum pattern for this is, because it was different on the album, it was different live, different drummers played it differently, but we're just going with kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. So it's just like it's weird that it's like an easier version of it, because I guarantee you Pat could play it.
Yeah. Nice little guitar line back there.
Yep. That's in the original too. I love that.
I think it's a synth in the.
This is my favorite part of the whole song.
Yeah. Bass sounds killer on this, man.
Just a little bringing it back, That's what I kind of like feel about this album, is that
I like that they kept the fade out.
Yeah, kept the fade out. One of the things that like I guess I'm remembering now is that like the energy that I think it was, they're Quarter-S covers, but like we were all in, most of us when we got started playing music did these kinds of covers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like it's not like a hyper produced, because I'm thinking about that one. I could see Weezer covering Everybody Wants to Do the World, and like that like build up section being maybe like a classic Weezer build up.
Oh yeah,
I mean they just grow and they could have done so much with it, and I guess that's maybe why that like I mean I'm joking around, but like there is part of me that's like it could have been a lot cooler.
It could have been it. I agree with you. I think all of these, they could have Weezerized them a little more. But also, listening to that just now, I do kind of like some of the things that they kept more subtle.
Oh, yeah.
I do kind of like that.
Yeah, it's like, it feels like, like they're like they're in their first band, just playing some songs.
Burn! That's a good one, dude. Got him. Weezer, is this your first band? Learn how to play a Tears for Fears song, idiot.
Yeah, Pat, where's the driving kick drum? What's with this 4 on the floor bullshit?
No, I mean it's fine. That song rules.
That's the thing. They
rules. There's only so
half of these songs are like so good, and the other half are like, what?
Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I would never pick that over the original to listen to.
Yes.
That's the
big thing about
maybe pick that Africa over the original.
Yeah, depending on how I'm feeling.
Yeah, if I'm in a more rockin' mood, I
think if I'm in my car and on the highway, I have to listen to the Weezer version, because the noise of my car is just so bad that like the Weezer one just kind of like builds. Then the subtleties in the original.
Yeah. What? Sorry.
No, the subtleties of the original get lost on the highway. But if I'm in town driving, baby, dude, Africa's
if we're cruising down College Ave on a nice spring day like today,
dude,
we got that Tears for Fears going.
No, we got it. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Whatever. Next track, though. This song, I think this was a big missed opportunity on Weezer's part, because I think they could have made this way cooler. Sweet dreams are made of Weez.
Who am I to disagree?
No, I think you could have had this feeling like Hash Pipe if you wanted to, man.
I think so, yeah.
You could have.
Chugging along.
Yeah. But, let's go.
Track 3?
Yeah, track 3, baby. Concrete, baby.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Put it up there.
That's concrete, baby.
That's what we've been laughing about all day.
We've been crying, laughing about this stupid meme all day. We're like, we can't say it. We can't say it.
It doesn't make any sense.
All right.
Neither does this album.
Like, did you have to copy the synth sound verbatim?
Yeah. This is like... Here's the thing, too, is this is probably like the stock Logic synth.
Yeah.
Or
Got
Pro
Rivers,
Tools.
got Pat Googling, how do I make this on...
This album feels slightly masturbatory.
Yeah.
You know? Where it's just like, it's meant to just kind of goof off.
Exactly.
That's what
it's
this
not
one
meant
is.
to be taken seriously.
Yeah. That's what I feel like we keep coming back to this is like, did they replace the songs? Never, not in a million years.
Is it fun?
But it's just like, it's just funny, you know? Yeah.
Do you know I modeled Ghost in my room after this song?
Really?
It was this song and Sunglasses at Night by, what's that dude's name?
Oh,
Corey
yeah.
Hart? Is that his name?
Yeah.
That's what I want a Ghost in my room to
You
sound
got
like.
the little glass.
We hear you,
Coca-Cola
Pat.
bottles.
We hear you, Pat. That would have been the prime moment to put the Buddy Holly lick in this song.
If they would have done that instead of that in the Metallica one, I would have, yeah.
Get him, Pat.
Hit him with the gated reverb, too. Like, some more, please. If they had gated reverb snare on this, it would be a hit.
Give me that Phil Collins.
Oh my god.
We're gonna do a Phil Collins cover at our holiday
I was
show.
named after Phil Collins.
You know who's Phil?
No, because he did. I have this
Is this
fake.
real?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I have this fake story I tell people just to like mess with them. Where I'm like, well, first off, the big thing I say is I was born in Canada.
Oh yeah,
Which Winnipeg, Manitoba is my hometown.
I have a friend from Winnipeg. Hey Hannah.
Me, Hannah's my cat.
Hannah, you're Colin's cat. Oh, by the way,
pissing on the rug.
No, she wouldn't do that.
No, but I have this.
Go
like,
Jets. There's
Jets.
a hockey team there called the Jets.
That's
Go
right.
Jets.
I had to learn that when I told everybody that I lived in Canada when I was born.
You talk to Hannah. She'll teach you all about Winnipeg.
I loved it. But I tell people that I was named after Phil Collins because I was born the same year as The Lion King came out, and Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
But that's not.
Not everybody remembers that. I get some strange looks, but if you tell them with a straight enough face, you can get away with most anything.
Okay, speaking of Phil Collins and the Tarzan soundtrack though.
Oh my
Trash
god.
in the Camp though.
Trash
that song
in the camp.
has no right to go as hard as it does. Okay, but this is all done.
Put it out now.
But this is all done. We're listening to Trash in the Camp.
Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm noticing about Teal here is we keep going off the rails.
It makes me sad.
Because I feel like there's just like nothing special or spectacular about it.
Right.
I'm not as like engaged as I usually am with these because I don't know, I've been finding myself easily distracted because I'm not mentally engaged by this album.
This album is not meant to be listened to. It's meant to see it on Spotify and go, haha, that's funny, and move on with
Honestly,
your
yeah,
day.
that's where it kind of starts and stops, but
which
it's just
it's fine,
funny.
but don't make your whole identity as a band like. There's a lot of people online on the Weezer spaces like posting set lists where around this time like their set lists were literally a third of the set list was covers from this album, and like that sucks. Straight up, that sucks.
I don't like that.
Nothing against playing covers live, but covers that are like this where there's no meaning to it, there's no rhyme or reason to it. That sucks.
I like what you said earlier. I really wish it would have been like maybe a thing of like the heart songs.
Yeah, or like heart songs, something with even a little meaning.
Yeah.
Like,
or just more effort was put into it.
An earnest like Weezer cover album with effort put into it and stuff,
Yeah.
I think would be really cool.
Relient K did a really good, like, where they like made it like their versions, and they covered like kind of like they covered Dr. Worm by They Might Be Giants, which is like crazy to me because like I don't think that's a song that like many people like listen to, and Relient K was like, we're gonna cover it, but we're gonna make it our style too.
Yeah.
It's
so
nuts.
When I went to that Weezer show in Nashville that I was telling you about, the singer of Relient K did the Pinkerton set.
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool. It was a cool night. Yeah. I don't know. It's fine.
What do you say?
What
can you say about it?
The other night after we finished the Green episode and I was driving home and I sent you that message, I was like, okay, Teal Album actually slaps. I think if you're in the mood for this, it's fun. It's really fun.
You have to be in a silly, goofy mood, I feel like.
We're all business here on WeezfestCast.
No jokes.
No jokes. Come on.
All big business.
Big bees.
Put up Big Yoshi.
Concrete.
Put up Big Yoshi on the concrete. Look at him.
He's sitting there. We can't just steal jokes from other things that have more subscribers than us. That's not how this works.
It's punching up.
Kind of how Super Mario does when he's on Yoshi.
All right. Do that one more time.
Yoshi. Yeah, I can do a Yoshi impression.
That's so good. That's
Yoshi. I don't know why I can do that.
Don't do Big Yoshi.
Yoshi. He's sitting there. We gotta cut most of this out. We can't. We were doing so good.
We can't keep getting away with this.
Good. All right. The next track is "Take on Me," which had the video with Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, the video for this one's fun.
Whenever I hear this song, I think about the Vine of like that girl. It's like her head from behind. She's like, she turns around. She's got the little tiny. Sunglasses on. I miss Vine.
Dude,
I wonder if Weezer ever made Vines. I feel like they missed the boat on that. I guess they were kind of inactive during those years.
Yeah, I know they were.
They did have in the LA Girls music video. They had this great music video, and then they ruined it at the last second by having a reference that was already dated by the time the video came out. With Damn
Weezer's
Daniel.
Not cool though.
Damn
Weezer's
Rivers back at it again with the Ray-Bans. That's so stupid.
It's funnier too because like I feel like as a casual listener, you don't get like the Ray-Bans joke really.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
He probably didn't even wear Ray-Bans. He probably gets them from Lens Crafters or something.
I believe it.
Costco.
He has an HSA that he uses. He puts money into for his glasses.
He probably hand carves them
while he's on his retreats.
Yeah.
All right. Track 4.
Take on Me. I think that's like a stock gated reverb plugin. It sounds just like the one I use.
I don't know. It lacks beef.
It does. Where's the beef?
Where's
the 80s
beef?
Reference? The choruses sound good.
I mean, chorus, yeah, it's reminiscent of the original.
He hit that note though.
Vocal processing still. I mean, it makes.
You're Weezer. Give me some feedback. Give me some guitar.
Feedback. Give me some heavy, nasty Mesa Boogie sounds. Do like guitar harmony or something.
They had even the single note electric guitar thing.
Yeah,
something, man.
Big open chords.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some bass slides. I think Scott's the only one on this album that's like, we're Weezer, right?
Yeah.
You know, right? This cool.
This is a little bit, yeah. Yeah. That energy through the choruses would be phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
Double that melody on guitar.
Yeah.
Like on the guitar. Something.
Dude, you're Weezer. I mean, I'm bopping my head, but it's like because I like the song.
Because it's a good song, right?
It's a song. This part's, I like this.
Like the choruses hit less hard than the original. And you're a rock band.
I mean, some of the earliest Weezer albums were track to tape. But, once they started working in Pro Tools, some of those, files must have been, probably 80 plus tracks.
Yeah.
You know, you got 3 shakers, you got vocal layers, you
Yeah.
got double tracked vocals. I know Weezer likes to do. Maybe you got like a bus just for your chorus reverbs or something like that.
Yeah.
That just like the arrangements in Teal feel like it's like that there's like maybe 16 tracks at most.
I would not be surprised if this was mostly done in like various home studios.
Totally.
And just like, okay, Pat, can you do your drums and send them back? And then Rivers, send this
plug
guitar.
in the MIDI keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, use your stock
plugins that everyone has. I wouldn't be surprised. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you kind of get what you put into it, I think.
Totally.
It's fine. Like, if it wasn't a good song,
Rivers did like his 14 vocal takes or something like that, and then sent it to the producer, the vocal, and
again,
she comped it.
Yeah, I'm not putting that on before I put on the Aha version.
Totally.
It's fine. Music video was cute.
Yeah,
Finn Wolfhard.
It was cute.
Yeah. This next one though, I think is like the only redeeming factor on this record is "Happy Together."
This is a good one.
I'd
almost forgotten about this one.
So they covered this in 2001. Recorded a cover of it for a Spike Jonze movie that I don't think it's ever come out. I don't think they're cover. But there's a few live versions that they played around there with a little bit different arrangement from this. I love the arrangement that they did on here.
Yeah.
I think this is the only one that I would put on before I put on the original.
Okay. Yeah, I have to remember how this one goes.
Happy Together. This feels like the effort that they put into the Rosanna cover.
Yeah, totally.
And the huge chorus is...
Isn't this technically halftime from the original?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Clean, but also there's just some big guitars in the back. This is what if this song is what the rest of the album was,
right.
I would probably listen to it more.
Yeah. I love that triplet thing Pat's doing. Hearing this makes
this part, is meant to be Weezer.
I need them to do a fully recorded Beach Boys cover with how this sounds, dude.
Totally. The interesting ending, but that's what that's supposed to be.
Part of why I think that works is how much of that era of music is in Weezer's music and stuff like Blue Album and White Album and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
How much of that kind of California Sunshine pop vibes.
Totally,
I think it translates super well to the Weezer sound. Compared to something like, the Sweet Dreams Are Made of This cover, where that's kind of hard to...
Yeah.
You have to change it significantly to have it sound like Weezer.
Totally, and that's just work that they clearly didn't have time for.
Right. That cover, though, rules.
That's fun. Yeah,
I think that's
like that one a lot.
I would consider that a good cover.
That
improves upon the original.
Yeah, throw it to the halftime for the choruses there.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I enjoy that one thoroughly.
I do as well.
Yeah.
That's I think the only one off of this album, I guess Africa too, that I have saved on my liked songs on Spotify.
Oh, sure.
The rest I think before yesterday, I had listened to this album all the way through one time.
Oh yeah.
When it came out.
I think I'm in the same boat. Yeah. I think it was a top to bottom bit one time, and then just liked the songs that I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, next up, we got a little Black Sabbath. Are you a Black Sabbath fan, Colin?
I love Black Sabbath.
I do, too.
I think Black Sabbath is one of the best bands out there.
What's your favorite Black Sabbath album?
What was the live one? It was Live Volume 2 or something like that?
What was it? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The one from the 70s or the one from the 90s?
The 70s.
Yeah, what is that called?
I can't remember the name of that.
I know what you're talking about.
But I have that saved. I love the live album. Yeah.
This song, Paranoid, was the first song I ever played on bass in a band in front of people.
Really?
8th grade talent show.
Oh, lovely.
We played Paranoid. Didn't have a singer, so we just kind of played the riff over and over again. Guitar player didn't know the solo, so he just made up some stuff.
Pentatonic noodling.
The pentatonic noodling. He did a little bit of tapping.
Oh,
Yeah,
for 8th
that was
grade.
for 8th
Wow.
grade, yeah.
Dang.
On a Epiphone Flying V, and I was playing my Fender,
Oh,
or my Squier Affinity Series Precision Bass,
good old P bass.
which I have since put a new neck, put a new pickup, new hardware, and painted. But it's still the same bass.
Are you a P bass or J bass?
My main is it's a late. All right, but yeah, Paranoid. I'm feeling a little paranoid today.
I mean, yeah, I don't like those.
I heard Arnie might show up.
We had to put a little jingle bell on him, so we'll hear him before we see him.
All right. Well, here's Paranoid. Brian Bell vocals. You know me. I love some Brian Bell.
Yeah.
You don't, but it's fine.
I love Brian Bell.
You don't love this song,
but I don't love this song.
Let's listen.
To me, this one just sounds like a garage recording in the worst way possible.
It sounds like the version they recorded for Guitar Hero because they didn't have permission to use the regular version.
I just love everything Brian does, so it hurts when it's not super great.
If you want to, okay. If you have a cover album that's mostly songs from the 80s, you want to put a heavy song on it, why do you pick this song from 1970?
Yeah. Oh my god, seriously. Could have picked it. I mean, you could have homaged to Hash Pipe in a different,
Yeah.
done some Ozzy.
Could have put Crazy Train. Oh wait, they did that on Van Weezer.
That's
it was
right.
really silly.
It's very silly.
Dude, is this bad that I already want to skip this song? Do we have to?
It's not great. The guitar doesn't sound good. It's so trebly.
Do we have, it's such a nice day out, and we're sitting in here stuck listening to the goddamn Teal album. That's no joke, that's how I feel right now.
No. Oh, the wah.
Switch up the solo. I wish they would have, if they would have put 5% more effort into this, they would have done a double track Tony Iommi solo thing, but they just didn't care. I wonder if that's Rivers or Brian.
It sounds like they're rehearsing. Yeah. This is rehearsal footage. The solo to LA Girls was the first take.
Yeah. And it was better than that. Make a joke? You mean like how when you made this album? Are we being too mean?
No, dude, this is deserved. Weezer? But I agree with what you said earlier, where it's like this album is meant to be looked at the cover.
You look at the cover
and the track list.
Haha, that's funny.
You look at the track list, you're like, that's crazy. And then you move on with your day.
And you never think about it. And you don't sit inside when it's 60 degrees and sunny out. And you could be outside enjoying the day, but you're sitting in here listening to the Teal album.
It's like the first nice day of the year.
It literally is the first 60-degree day of the year. And we're sitting here.
Listening to the most...
Oh, that's a cool little creative lick. Wow. Good job.
I was gonna say, is this song still going? I don't like that. It sounds like they're.
That was the longest 2 minutes and 40 seconds of my life.
This is what happened. They put a fucking SM57 on the fucking floor while they were practicing, and then they overdubbed the vocals.
In Pat's kid's bedroom.
Yeah.
I don't even.
What can you say about that other than it was just subpar
I'm
below the rest of it?
I'm getting increasingly bitter as we listen to this. I feel bad. I
just don't like that one.
It's. I thought I liked it, and now I don't.
I
thought I knew.
This album too. Thought I knew, but I didn't have
Brian,
a damn clue.
Don't do that. Just do Thought I Knew again.
Do Thought I Knew, but you switch it up on the tour. Sometimes you do the relationship version. Sometimes you do the Red Album version.
And don't tell the other members of the band.
Yeah,
it'd be a funny little prank.
That would be. You can hit play on the little electronic drums, or you can hit the minor chord that starts it off.
Yeah, whatever. They played a Black Sabbath song. It was fine. I don't care.
I would rather listen to the original.
I would exactly. Brian, nothing against you. I
love you, Brian.
I love hearing you sing. Do a better song.
Yeah.
Up next, we got Mr. Blue Sky. Kind of like the nice blue sky that's outside that we're not enjoying because we're listening to this stupid fucking album.
Yeah. I will say with this one that this one sounds fine, at least. I think better than the last one.
I like some of the things they did with this one.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Also, stock, it sounds like stock piano, too.
Yeah. They copied the little vocal reverb from
Yeah.
I like that. Hey.
buried somewhere deep in one of my first computers that I had like the diet version of Pro Tools on.
Yeah.
Is me covering this.
No
Yeah.
way. Put it up. Find it. Put it up.
I think that computer is
you?
in like a landfill somewhere. If I find it,
Colin,
I'll
nothing
release
is ever
it.
deleted from the internet. It's out there.
It's not on the internet. This is like 2011. Colin's learning how to use Pro Tools.
They made this a little heavier. I kind of like what they.
Yeah.
Rivers' vocals. I mean,
snare is mixed super hot on this album.
Yeah.
I'm noticing.
I mean, it's because Pat, man.
Yeah.
I bet Pat was in charge of the drum production on
Probably, yeah.
What a wimpy guitar tone.
Here's the thing. I think that my guitar tone when I covered it sounds better than this. In 2011, with my SM57 knockoff, it sounds like he plugged in direct and used like some old amp sim.
Also, the reverb on the vocals does not mesh with how dry everything else sounds.
Yeah.
We don't need to be mean here.
Yeah, I know. We can
sold
nitpick
a billion
it.
copies of this album. Hey There, Mr. Blue is actually a reference to Weezer's debut album, the Blue Album.
Ooh.
It's Rivers reflecting back on...
I thought it was a Breaking Bad reference.
Oh, yeah, that too. No, that's
No,
Mr.
you know
White.
Oh, you're right. No, that's Do You Want to Get High is the Breaking Bad reference.
Yeah.
So you can't do it twice. You can't reference something more than once.
You know, last time we were talking about the Green Album, we're just talking about the chord progressions because there's nothing going on here, and so we're focusing on that.
Yeah.
And here we're just talking about Breaking Bad because we don't care.
Yeah. This one's rough. I like the talk box. That was in the original.
That was something.
This thing, it's hard. I can't even talk about the chord progressions.
Right.
Because they didn't write
covers,
them.
Yeah. Scott's bass sounds good.
Yeah, dude. That's the big consistent thing throughout this is that Scott...
He's got like a 58 or
fantastic.
something P bass that is his main thing he uses.
Is that like the with the red pickguard or whatever? Yeah, I like the...
Okay.
Jesus, this part dope.
rules. This actually... The way that they actually recorded those vocals is sick.
Yeah.
And the Pat's going off.
And then the backing vocals. I mean, you know, arrangement-wise, they... Electric Light Orchestra is a fantastic band.
Yeah.
They do really good work.
Yeah.
And then the good old
fake out
ending. Another good job, guys in ELO.
It's hash pipe, dude.
Imagine they threw in the hash pipe.
That would have been pretty cool, actually. This is fun. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of the original.
This kind of reminds me. This version of this song reminds me of like Dreamin'.
Like any specific part of it?
Just the way that it's kind of all over the place, and the way that some of the arrangement things.
I can see maybe that's why they picked this song is because maybe there was like an inspiration there. For Dreamin'.
No, they picked it because they went on a classic rock Spotify playlist and it had more streams. I'm just getting increasingly bitter about Weezer right now.
It's, as I said, this is the first time I've top to bottom this since it came out.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what, everybody?
But like, again, this is not meant to be taken that seriously, like dissected on a podcast. This album is not meant for that.
I had to sneeze, but it went away.
Oh, man.
I'm so fucking bored.
Colin.
I fucking love how fucking goofy this shit is.
Colin likes the Teal Album. Okay, this next one is good, though. This next one is good. No Scrubs. No Scrubs was funny.
Honestly, hearing this live...
No Scrubs was funny.
Good.
And one of the people from TLC, I forget which one, I don't care, tweeted at Rivers and was like, we should do a show together, and then they never did.
What is with Weezer being weird around this whole thing?
Rivers Cuomo has social anxiety and just will not talk to anybody ever.
I mean, yeah, unless it's an interview, yeah.
Come to our pod.
Rivers.
No, this is a fun cover. Scrub.
Dope.
Scrub alert.
What I do.
Scrub.
You ever watched the TV show Scrubs?
I've seen parts.
That's the show I've seen the most next to The Office.
It's funny, right?
I feel like the reason they put this late in the album is because they're like, we're losing them.
Exactly.
They knew that they were gonna like be losing them. That's why anybody who wants to talk about this album, they're weird about it. Because they're like, they probably barely wanted to do it. Right. I feel like.
Oh yeah. You just know though. You know, Rivers was like having a field day recording
this one. Yeah.
He probably had a lot of fun.
Especially because like this is like the first like '90s one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
This is the only one that's fine that there's like not like a huge raucous guitar tone.
Yeah. I don't think it would work with that.
No, I don't think you'd be able to make it work. This one is maybe this album was meant to be 5 songs.
Yeah.
You know?
An EP.
It's a small little cover EP.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Whenever Rivers puts on his like he has like this like thing he does with his voice.
Yeah.
There's like a bravado thing.
It's so silly.
It's so silly. I don't think this song is served better because of this part, but
it's not. There's a world where it was the 90s, and Weezer was on the Pinkerton tour, and Rivers was listening to this on his Walkman. Like, that probably happened.
That probably legitimately happened. When is Weezer gonna cover Outkast?
They did.
Like the full album, just Outkast covers.
They covered Hey Ya.
What about Miss Jackson?
I'd listen to that.
With Rivers doing his like false bravado.
Okay, this is the problem: is people saying like, "Oh, it'd be funny if Weezer covered that." And then we end up with the Teal album, and we have to sit here on a beautiful day listening to this. This is the problem.
So nice. I have other things I need to do today. I have like a family get together. I have a cat's birthday party.
Are we going to hell because we're spending Easter listening to the Teal album?
I'm a firm believer in Jesus.
I'm unwell because I'm listening to the Teal album.
I'm so happy we're able to find that hat.
God. Okay. We're done. I don't care. We're done with that song. I don't care. There's no redeeming quality of this album, dude.
This is real.
There's no redeeming quality of this album. It should not exist. They're like, you idiots will buy this if we be a self-titled album.
And we all did.
All of the self-titled albums up until this point were like meaningful. It was like Blue Album and Green Album was like a reboot. Red Album was then experimenting. White Album was like a fresh take on the classic sound. Yeah. Teal Album, you'll buy this, you idiots. Black Album, bad. Sucks. Like
what's the next one? Have they announced it? We have no clue what it's gonna be.
Rivers has been talking about doing a color album, and he had a poll for what color you would like. I picked orange.
Orange. That's the Halloween album. The Halloweezer album.
We couldn't do Halloweezer because it was a Packer game that night.
I was so bitter about that.
No, it's fine. No, man, like, I think they tarnished the legacy of the color albums.
I know. Everything after Teal and afterwards has been a downward dive.
Well, no, just Teal.
No, I'm saying in terms of the color album.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, until they hit us up with the Yellow album, and it's really good.
The Piss album?
Dude, I'd listen to the Piss album.
I'm thinking of all like the other like classic like colors, and I'm just like I don't know.
Pink. I could see them doing Pink.
The Fuchsia album.
The Gold album.
Yeah, I feel like they wouldn't call it yellow; they would call it gold.
I could see like a double album of gold and silver.
Silver and gold.
Didn't Baroness do that?
Baroness, I did do that. You're correct.
I liked Yellow and Green by Baroness.
Oh, that's a Packers reference.
Green Bay Packers. I can't.
Right. Breaking news! Charlie DeVillers has been drafted to the Green Bay Packers.
No, I haven't. I don't even want to make jokes right now because this album depresses me, dude. I'm unwell. Can we just listen to Billie Jean? I don't care.
This one's your least favorite, right?
This is my least favorite. It's
fine.
My god. Maybe, you know what? Maybe they did something fun on it. I don't care. I can't say I've ever listened to this more than once. No Scrubs was fine. It was funny. It's meant to be like, haha, Weezer covered No Scrubs. Send this to your friend, and then they get 2 streams out of it. Like,
send this to your friend as a 7 kilobyte file in an email thread. Say like, what did Weezer do this time?
If you don't send this to 10 people, Rivers Cuomo will appear at your bed at 3 a.m. and he will murder you, and then use your blood to make the Blood album.
If you don't,
this is not a joke.
If you don't send this to 7 of your hottest friends, Weezer will make a Teal album too.
Don't. please send this podcast to 7 of your hottest friends. Please. I can't listen to Teal Album more.
Can't do this again.
Literally, there's 2 songs left on this album, and I'm seriously have a sense of dread washed over me that we have to listen to these.
These last 2 are just the biggest who fucking cares. The biggest who...
Okay, I'm just gonna press play and me and you are just gonna chat about whatever. I don't care. All right, Billie Jean, whatever. Wow.
Also, this could have been a dope like Scott bass moment, but no, let's give it to the synth. Oh my god,
this sucks. This sucks. Wow,
you copied it. Congrats.
Google, what synth did Michael Jackson use on Billie Jean? This is bad.
Is it okay to like cover Michael Jackson in 2019?
Right.
That's like the other thing that I like thought about when this came out, because I was like, I feel like that was like a hot button issue at the time that was kind of coming up again.
It was.
And then Weezer was like, let's cover Billie Jean. I thought, oh, the vocals sound not good.
I don't even have anything to say. I don't care. I don't care.
I'm having a real life crisis.
Oh, there's some guitars.
Look around like a young girl's heart.
Broke my heart by having to listen to this.
Would it be too much of a deep cut to play this at WeezfestCast?
I will quit this podcast.
Also, all right, here's the thing. I don't know, is like Michael Jackson is a big old weirdo, but
whoa, hot take.
But like the whole thing about like the chorus is supposed to feel huge and big, but like the pre-chorus for Billie Jean is bigger than the actual chorus, and I've never liked that.
Fair, yeah.
I always, I felt weird to me.
It's interesting.
But what does that have to do with Weezer? Nothing.
I don't care.
This is a cash grab.
I'm glad you've come around to the correct
No,
side
but
here,
like,
dude.
it's funny to think about, and honestly, it feels like the thing when like, it's stupid.
It was not meant to be dissected like this. We are staring into an abyss of madness by trying to dissect this album.
Yeah.
We are tampering with things that should not be tampered with by humans.
We've opened the gates.
And
whenever I think about this, when I was thinking about this, I forgot that it was as long as it was.
Yeah, it sure feels long.
I thought that it was like 6 tracks.
Yeah.
I thought it was an EP.
Okay, it should have been a 5-track EP of Toto songs.
5-track EP of Toto songs. You can maybe throw No Scrubs on there.
That or 5 80s songs, like
specifically 80s. Yeah, what's Teal about No Scrubs, honestly?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Like,
you can't dress up like they do in this album.
Right.
And,
it's
play paranoid.
If you're going to do something like this, either make it an earnest cover album or make it so ridiculous that it's like...
That's the thing, yeah.
There was no effort put into it, it feels like. I'm not going to say there was no effort
I
put
really
into it,
think that my heart's telling me, because everyone by this point has proven that they can... That, like, Rivers writes 10 million songs a year.
Yeah.
He has...
Dude, when are we getting the Teal album demos?
The demos, dude. But, like, it's frustrating because things could have been a lot better than they ended up as they were. And I almost wonder that, like, if it's intentional how quarter-assed it sounds. Because I wonder if that's, like, was part of it. Is it supposed to sound like...
We're done with that. I have a quote, actually.
Yeah.
That from the Enemy.
We're done with that?
I don't care. Do you care? So,
no, I really don't.
From the Enemy review of this album, Matt Beaumont, who wrote the review, writes, it's respectful enough to rouse any struggling family gathering, but knowing enough to amuse those in on the joke. The Teal album at once satirizes the Covers album and makes a decent stab at perfecting it. So his take is kind of like, it's
a parody album.
It's a parody of a cover album. I don't think so, but like maybe
That's an
I got
interesting
baby brain
thought.
and I'm not smart enough.
Yeah, it definitely goes. If that's what they're doing, it went too far.
Yeah, they went too far to make it so bland and terrible.
I know. Yeah, but like, what's upsetting is that like I feel like even if that's what they were trying to do,
yeah,
I don't think you can do that and not play it more on the nose.
Exactly.
Like they did it, and then they like got success off of it, so then they just rolled with it.
Right.
Which is maybe why they were so awkward with all these people whose songs that they covered.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's just
right.
Yeah.
If it's so clearly a response to Africa being a big hit, and so clearly being like, we can milk a couple 100,000 G's out of this, like
can drum a pipe for the next album.
Right. If it was from the get-go, like we're gonna put all of our effort into making just an earnestly good cover of Africa by Toto, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing. But it's when it gets to the point where it's a whole album and then it comes out and it's so bland.
Yeah.
That's why it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Leads us into the next and last song on this album.
This is straight up I scratch my head at why.
Garbage.
At why.
It doesn't sound
it's almost
good.
It's borderline disrespectful. Like,
yeah.
Like, honestly.
It really is. Just hit play on this last one.
You've got this.
I'm exasperated. I'm at a loss for words.
Colin's had a bad day. Dude,
it's Easter.
Look, we get through this so we can listen to Blue Album next week.
I'm so excited for that. I believe we have a guest locked in for that one.
Yes.
So we'll see if they can make it.
Yeah, man, like Stand By Me. So you've got this beautiful subtle arrangement with these guitars and these strings and this upright bass and this like the triangle and stuff.
I feel like they probably agonized over that for so long. Like I feel like Stand By Me, the recording process for the original and composition process was probably like a super arduous long thing. And then getting it right in the studio was super hard. This was probably pumped out in an afternoon.
A synth that sounds like farts.
It does.
It straight up sounds like farts.
Bad.
I think that's a synth. That can't be Scott.
I don't think. If it's him, he's running through some weird pedal or something.
His Sans amp is running out of battery.
He ran that new JHS thing where you can attenuate the power that's going to a pedal and make it sound like it's dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm dying listening to this.
Yeah, anyways, I feel like my 9 volts running out.
All right.
This is Stand By Me.
I thought that was...
It sounds like a clipped, like, upright bass being run through some weird amp.
Like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do here? Are you trying to make it
seriously feels
sound like an 80s song? Are you trying to make it sound like Weezer? Because it doesn't sound like Weezer. Doesn't sound like the original.
Okay, but also this is... Maybe to go back to, like, this is a parody...
But that's just like bad parody because it's
bad.
Not funny.
It's just bad.
Yeah. If the bass sounded normal, like I could see this being okay. This part, like okay, if the bass sounded normal, this is a Weezer cover. Like I get it, because this kind of sounds like other stuff Weezer has done.
Yeah.
But like,
I feel like they were probably struggling too with this one, which is. Also, another interesting thing is that there were absolutely more ideas.
Yeah.
And you're telling me you went with this one.
Yeah.
You telling me that imagine Weezer doing Beat It.
Right.
Like, you know, I don't know. Like
imagine Weezer doing like Pour Some Sugar on Me. Like if we're sticking with the 80s, you know?
Dude, when's the Weezer glam metal album covers coming out?
That was Van Weezer, dude.
Van Weezer should have been just a glam metal cover.
It should have.
Instead it was Hero.
A lot of things.
Instead it was Hero.
But I love it for what it is.
Yeah.
This is not good. Can I turn this off?
No, we have to make it through this.
Through it.
It's like that weird phaser.
It's not good. Like, okay, you're trying to make it a rock thing, yet you have the little auxiliary percussion in the background. What are you doing?
Dude, yeah, the original was just a subtle
yes
masterclass.
They could have done this with Rivers on acoustic guitar and the other guys singing backup vocals, like maybe acoustic bass, Pat just doing like some shakers. That would have sounded wonderful.
If you made this butterfly and a butterfly-esque arrangement, I think it would have been fine. I almost wonder if like how much of this was pumped out for like to test out, like have an excuse to test out live versions of covers.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like I feel like I'm trying to imagine this one in a giant venue.
It's fading out. Thank God. Okay,
yeah.
We're done. We're done with the Teal album.
We're done with the Teal album.
We don't have to listen to it ever again.
Yeah, I was optimistic coming in here. That one.
I'm sorry if
was
I brought down the mood.
No, but that one was a lot longer than I remember it being.
Cut back to the clip of me at the beginning of this saying there were good vibes in the WeezFest studio today. Colin, can I just say it's good vibes in the WeezFest studio today?
I'm drained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. We made it through.
Final thoughts.
Bad as a cover album, bad as a Weezer album.
Yeah.
Tarnishes the good name of the self-titled Weezer album. I don't think anyone should listen to it. I'm mad that people paid money for it and it did as well as it did.
If that album was half as long and you just cut out half of those and then you maybe reworked them so that it had more of that Weezer flair.
Sure.
I think you would have a fine piece of work.
A Weezer cover album as a concept and a Weezer cover album of 80 songs works on paper.
Yeah.
But it's not enough for it to be based on the joke that, haha, it's funny that Weezer did these songs that you know. That's not enough. And that's what we got.
I think that the fact that it rode off the heels of the Africa thing.
Yeah.
I think made it a little, I don't know, it just was too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every single one of those songs, bar
Happy
Together are songs I would rather listen to the original.
Yeah, I agree with you. Whatever. Should we close the book on the Teal album?
We can move past this.
We can move past it.
But guess what, guys? Blue is coming up next week.
Next episode is the Blue album.
Next 2 weeks from now.
Hopefully have a good friend here with us who I don't really know her Weezer experience.
Yeah,
what her relationship with Weezer is, but I'm curious to hear.
It's funny because I was talking to our mystery guest about when we were doing Red Album.
Yeah,
and she's like, I have a funny story about Red Album. I was like, what is it? She's like, I was with my dad in the car, and Greatest Man That Ever Lived came on, and the sirens come on, and everyone thinks that the cops are behind you. Which is the same story we had
to both of us.
Yeah, it's so funny. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
Blue Album is a very I was born in 1994, so it just Weezer has been around as long as I've been alive. So
not me. Weezer's older than me. I'm a baby. But I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to try to come at it from a new angle, like not as an album that we know every single note on, but just like it'll be fun to think of some new perspectives and to listen to some actually good Weezer music.
I know. Yeah. a blue adjacent album, a colored blue album that's good actually.
And then after that we got the Black Album and we're done with all the self-titles.
Yeah. And then we're trying to I don't know if we made a decision on how we're going to handle the
stay tuned.
The things for that, but yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for sticking with us as always.
Thanks for making this journey through this album with us. I know it wasn't hard. I'm sure a lot of you had to pause.
I don't blame you.
Can I just say don't listen? Like, don't encourage them. Don't buy this album. Don't listen to it.
I just want to get a secondhand cassette version of Teal. That's all I want.
Well, anything else?
This album's meant to be looked at and not listened to.
It's the equivalent of a Super Bowl commercial that an 80s song shows up and you go, haha, that's funny.
And then you get to move on.
Then you move on.
That's
what this album is.
This album is you're at Easter lunch with your family. You're at Easter lunch with your family.
I missed
and your
Easter
uncle
lunch because I was doing this podcast.
Oh man, yeah, I know, me too. But I have an Easter dinner to go to.
Me too.
But so like, imagine you're there, and then your uncle starts spouting off something just racist, And it goes on for too long, and everyone's like, internally, you're like, I only have to see him today, and
you're like,
maybe at Christmas, I can put up with this.
And you're like, do you think is he trying to be funny?
You just don't know.
You just don't know. And even if
he's weird about it.
Yeah.
He's the one being weird about it. And then if you confront him, everyone else is like, oh, honey, you just like, don't worry about, you only have to see him the one day a year. Today was the one
this
day.
Analogy, but I like it.
I just don't want to listen to this album.
We don't have
and I don't
to.
want to talk to my racist uncle.
I'm sorry. Colin's racist uncle, come to our pod. No, don't.
Come listen to the Teal.
All right. Are we done?
Let's close the book. Let's close the chapter on this one.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you.
Next week it'll be better.
Next time we come back,
gets better.
It's going to be...
And the one encouraging note I can leave you with is like, Teal Album and Black Album came out, and we were all like, ugh, Weezer's not doing so great. And then, you know what?
We got to have seasons.
Okay Human, Seasons, Van Weezer. Yeah. Things get better in life. So...
Weezer.
Yes. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
We didn't listen to Rosanna. Whatever. I don't care.
What a silly little album, dude. It's not little. How long is it?
I don't want to look at the Spotify page anymore.
I don't want them to think.
I put on the I am unwell hat because at that moment I started listening to Teal and I was unwell.
Yeah.
I want to take a supercut of like us at the beginning of this episode versus us at the end.
At the end, I'm just like defeated now. Yeah. I'm like, I feel
bad. Okay.
Bad.
Well,
hey, you know what though? I mean, if the vocals are captured correctly, the camera's still rolling. This might be the first accident-free recording. Like no vocal glitches, no camera stayed the whole time. We had the drink segment on Teal.
They wheezed us. The universe wheezed us.
And we just fucking wheezed us.
All right. Well, bye-bye.
What do you got going on today? What fun activities? Yeah, I need to get my mind off of this. What a fun shit. I fucking was so... I thought it was funny. I thought this fucking album was funny until I had to top to bottom it.
I feel bad that I brought this
into
your space.
It's fine, dude. We had to listen to it.
You know what? We're gonna have the bad ones.
Yeah, that's how she goes.
I will try.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. This one's both bad and ugly.
I'm probably gonna be a little more bitter when we get to the Black Album episode. At least there's some fucking redeeming quality of that. Like they actually wrote those songs.
They wrote the songs. Exactly. Yeah, we got Blue and then